истинный в огне. Кто читает свои сны, поклоняюсь темноте.
Alright, what is up guys, Mr. Gruesome here, back to another video, and in this one, I'm going to be explaining what Pennywise the Clown exactly is, and what its origin is. So, let's just jump right into this. Alright, let's start off with the origins of it. So, the creature called it is kind of obviously not a clown at all. It's an ancient evil being that is perhaps billions of years old, possibly as old as the universe itself. It comes from the void that contains our entire universe, called the Macroverse. This is also referred to as the Trash Darkness in Stephen King's Dark Tower novels. Its home dimension is a realm called the Deadlights. In the book, Billy glimpsed its true form in the Deadlights for a moment, and he described it as an endless, crawling, hairy creature made of orange light, though it likes to manifest itself as a male clown named Pennywise. In the book, it also takes the form of an enormous female spider. Its natural enemy is another being from the Macroverse called a turtle. The turtle also appears in the Dark Tower series as Maturin, one of the guardians of the beam. It describes itself as the superior being compared to the turtle. It arrived on Earth in a cataclysmic event millions of years ago, landing in the section of North America where the town of Derry, Maine would eventually be built. It slumbered beneath the earth for millions of years, awaiting the arrival of mankind, where the town of Derry was built in 1715. It awoke and began a cycle of feeding on the fears of the people of Derry, and then resuming hibernation for cycles of 27 to 30 years. It would prey on the children of Derry because its children's fears are easier to harvest and then manipulate into physical form. It takes the form of Pennywise the dancing clown because King believes clowns scare children more than anything else in the world. In the book, however, Pennywise's real name is Bob Gray. It also influences the adults of Derry to passively ignore it and not interfere with its attacks on Derry's children. As Ben discovered when he researched Derry's history in the library, it has been a part of the terror and death in Derry for centuries. It was responsible for the explosion at the Kincher Ironworks that killed 108 people, including 88 children. It can also be awakened by an act of violence. The book begins with a boy named Dorsey Coracon. Really hope I'm not butchering that name, but anyway, he was beaten to death by his stepfather, Richard Macklin, in 1957, which sparks it from its slumber. Because it manipulates the minds of the people of Derry, they don't dwell on the tragedies that occur. Therefore, despite the number of children who go missing as we see in the movie, adults just passively post new missing photos over the old ones and continue on as if nothing is wrong. Alright, now let's talk about its powers and abilities. As an ancient supernatural evil, it has a plethora of superpowers. First and foremost, it is a shapeshifter that takes the form of whatever its victim fears the most. Pennywise the Clown offering children balloons like it did to little Georgie at the start of the movie is its preferred default physical form. But as we saw in the movie, it takes other shapes such as a homeless leopard chasing Eddie, and the woman in the painting that Stan is terrified of. In the book, it takes on even more shapes like the aforementioned giant spider and several famous monsters that producers of it didn't have the cinematic rights to, including Dracula, the Wolfman, the creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein's monsters, the shark from Jaws, and Rodan. It can also cast illusions like manifesting the fire that killed Mike's parents, project itself into pictures like the slideshow of Billy's families the losers watched in Billy's garage, and it can appear and disappear at will, showing up in places such as in the woods watching when Mike is being attacked by Henry Bowers and his gang of thugs. It can control and influence what people see, which is why Alvin Marsh, the abusive father of Beverly, couldn't see that their entire bathroom was covered in blood after it attacked Beverly with a bloodbath from their sink. When the losers ventured into the well inside the haunted house at 29 Neibold Street, really hope I was saying that right, and they found Pennywise's lair in the sewers, they saw the corpses of all of its child victims floating above, one example of the telekinesis it possesses. Despite all of its powers, however, it provided vulnerable to physical attack once the losers were able to overcome their fear of it. It is able to regenerate itself, as it did when Beverly speared it through its head. But after the amount of physical damage it took from the combined losers, it had to retreat to the bowels beneath Derry to go back to slumber and regenerate, presumably for 27 years until it encounters the adult losers again in this year's It Chapter 2. And one of its most underrated malevolent powers is its ability to simply make people forget the horrors it reaped upon the people of Derry. Luckily, and unfortunately for the losers in the movie, they will never forget the summer of 1989 that's spent fighting it. But we know, especially from the sinister laugh in the end credit scene and the promise of It Chapter 2, that it is most certain to return. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me explaining what exactly Pennywise the Clown or It is. So if you want to see more videos like this of me just explaining monsters and just weird things in general, like unsolved murders or something like that, something weird like that, then just let me know down in the comments below. Or if you just want to see other videos that aren't creepypastas, like countdown videos of creepy things, just me talking about weird things on the internet, then just let me know down in the comments below. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.